Travel is one of the most rewarding things we can do. It expands your perspective, introduces you to new cultures, and reminds you just how big and beautiful the world really is. But lately, it feels like every travel headline is trying to convince people that stepping onto a plane is basically a survival challenge. Outbreaks, viruses, safety alerts, worst-case scenarios. And while some of those concerns are legitimate, there's also something important people forget. Fear and preparation are not the same thing. Today, we're talking about how to actually travel smart without becoming paranoid, overwhelmed, or too anxious to enjoy the experience you worked hard for. Because the goal isn't to eliminate all risk. The goal is to travel prepared enough that you can relax and truly enjoy the journey. Welcome to Tripstagram Travel Company, where we offer real trips with unreal views while prioritizing your safety and delivering unforgettable experiences. The smartest travel safety decisions happen before your suitcase ever closes. Most travelers focus on outfits, excursions, and hotel reservations, but completely ignore their health preparation. That's a mistake. If you're traveling internationally, especially to remote areas, high-altitude destinations, tropical climates, or regions with different food and water standards, schedule a travel health appointment before your trip. Not because you should panic, because preparation removes unnecessary problems. A good travel clinic or doctor can help you determine whether you need vaccines, if malaria medication makes sense, how to prepare for altitude sickness, what medications you should bring, and whether your current health conditions may need extra management abroad. And here's something people overlook constantly. Your regular health insurance may not fully cover you overseas, which means the worst time to discover your coverage limitations is during an emergency in another country. Here's the reality. Most travel illnesses are not mysterious, and they're not prevented by obsessively refreshing the news every hour. They're prevented by a handful of simple habits people ignore because they seem too basic. Number 1, hand hygiene. Yes, your mother was right. Again, wash your hands frequently. Use sanitizer when needed. Airports, cruise terminals, buses, train stations, and tourist attractions are high-contact environments. Small habit, massive difference. Number 2, pay attention to crowded indoor spaces. If you're in a packed airport or enclosed environment during an outbreak season, wearing a mask temporarily is simply smart risk management. Not fear, not drama, just awareness. Number 3, stop touching your face constantly. Most people do it without realizing it. Eyes, nose, and mouth are direct entry points for illness. And number 4, create distance when situations clearly call for it. You don't need to avoid humanity. You just need to recognize when a poorly ventilated, overcrowded environment might deserve a little more caution. Simple, practical, effective. If there's one thing statistically more likely to ruin your trip than some rare disease headline, it's food and water issues. Travelers' stomach problems are incredibly common, and honestly, most cases are preventable. One of the biggest mistakes travelers make is assuming water safety standards are identical everywhere. They're not. Depending on where you're traveling, tap water may not be safe for visitors. That also includes ice, rinsed produce, and even brushing your teeth. When in doubt, bottled water is your safest bet. And then there's food safety. Street food itself is not automatically dangerous. In fact, busy food stalls with high turnover are often safer than half-empty tourist restaurants with food sitting out too long. The real key is paying attention. Hot food is usually safer than lukewarm food. Freshly cooked is safer than sitting exposed. Fruit you peel yourself is safer than pre-cut fruit sitting in the sun. Travel smart, not fearful, there's a difference. Ironically, some of the most common travel risks are the ones people barely think about. Mosquitoes, sun exposure, heat exhaustion, altitude sickness, dehydration. These things affect travelers constantly. If you're heading somewhere tropical or rural, insect protection matters. Mosquitoes can carry illnesses like dengue, malaria, and Zika depending on the region. And no, your mosquito bites are not a symbol of bravery. Bring repellent, wear appropriate clothing when necessary, and protect yourself before you become an all-you-can-eat buffet. Then there's heat. People underestimate how fast dehydration and heat exhaustion can escalate during travel, especially when walking all day in destinations hotter than what your body is used to. Hydrate consistently, wear sunscreen, rest when needed. You are not competing in the travel Olympics. And if you're visiting high-altitude destinations like Peru or Bolivia, take acclimation seriously. Your lungs would appreciate the cooperation. Here's something many travelers learn the hard way. Medical emergencies abroad can become financially catastrophic extremely fast. Emergency evacuation flights alone can cost tens of thousands of dollars, and yet people will spend thousands on a luxury vacation, then skip travel insurance to save money. That math is not mathing. A strong travel insurance policy should include emergency medical coverage, evacuation coverage, trip interruption protection, and 24-hour emergency assistance, especially for international travel, because the goal isn't expecting disaster. The goal is knowing one problem won't financially destroy you if something unexpected happens. One of the healthiest travel mindsets you can develop is learning the difference between awareness and anxiety. Staying informed is smart. Constant doom scrolling is not. Set up travel alerts for your destination. Check official advisories when necessary. Stay updated on local conditions. But don't allow rare events to convince you the entire world is unsafe, because statistically, most travel experiences go perfectly fine when travelers use common sense and reasonable preparation. The problem is that fear gets more clicks than reality, and if you consume enough panic-driven content, eventually your brain starts treating every trip like a disaster movie trailer. That's not freedom, that's stress disguised as caution. At the end of the day, travel is supposed to enrich your life. It's supposed to create memories, connection, perspective, joy. The answer is not recklessness, and it's not living in constant fear either. It's preparation, thoughtful preparation. Pack wisely, stay aware, protect your health, respect local conditions, use good judgment, and then go enjoy the world. Because despite what headlines sometimes suggest, most of the world is still incredibly worth experiencing. Travel safe, travel smart, and actually let yourself enjoy the journey. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow Tripstagram Travel Co. for more travel insights, destination inspiration, safety tips, and smarter ways to explore the world. And remember, the best trips usually happen when preparation and curiosity work together.